Every once in a while, a product comes along that tries to blur the line between what's considered budget and what feels premium, and this is one of those. These are the Soundcore Q20i hybrid active noise canceling headphones from Anker. At first glance, they look like your typical affordable wireless over-ear headphones. Nothing flashy, nothing that immediately screams flagship. Just something simple, practical, and probably good enough for everyday use. But then you start looking at the spec sheet, and it gets interesting fast. Hybrid active noise canceling, high-res audio support, custom EQ through an app, transparency mode, and up to 40 hours of playback with ANC Enabled. That's a lot of features for a pair of headphones sitting in the budget category. So the real question is pretty straightforward. Do they actually hold up in real life? Design-wise, these are very much in that minimal, functional category. Matte finish, clean branding, and a lightweight build that doesn't try to be anything it's not. They're not chasing luxury materials or flashy aesthetics. Instead, they're built to just get out of your way, and in daily use, that actually works in their favor. The ear cups are soft, the padding is comfortable enough for long listening sessions, and the overall weight is light enough that you don't feel fatigued after wearing them for a while. They're not premium in the luxury sense, but they're definitely practical in the I can wear these for hours sense. Of course, there are trade-offs. Most of the construction is plastic, and while it doesn't feel fragile, it also doesn't feel high-end. It sits right in that middle zone where you're constantly reminded of the price, but not in a bad way. Comfort, though, is surprisingly solid. The clamp force is balanced, the cushioning does its job, and for commuting, studying, or casual listening, they're more than good enough. Now sound is where things start to matter more. Out of the box, the tuning is very Soundcore-like. Emphasis on bass, a slightly relaxed mid-range, and smooth highs. It's clearly designed to be enjoyable first, rather than analytical. And honestly, it works. Low end is strong. Kick drums hit with weight. Sub-bass has presence. If you listen to hip-hop, EDM, or anything bass-driven, these feel immediately engaging. Vocals sit a bit behind the mix by default, which means they don't always feel super forward or intimate. And the highs are clean, but not overly sharp or detailed. But this is where the app becomes important, because once you open up the EQ, the entire personality of these headphones can change. You can push vocals forward, reduce bass, or completely reshape the sound signature, depending on what you like. That level of customization is something you don't always get even at higher price points, and it adds a lot of flexibility to the experience. Noise canceling is another key part of the story. Budget ANC usually falls into two extremes, either barely noticeable or artificially aggressive without real impact. Here, it lands somewhere in the middle, but closer to good than bad. Low-frequency noise like engines, fans, and background hum gets reduced in a meaningful way. It doesn't create complete silence, but it does take the edge off the environment in a way that makes travel and commuting noticeably more comfortable. It's not flagship-level ANC, but it's very usable ANC. There's also a transparency mode, which lets outside sound in when needed. It's not perfectly natural, but it does the job for quick conversations or staying aware of your surroundings without taking the headphones off. Battery life is another area where these stand out. You're looking at up to 40 hours with ANC on, and even more with it off. That kind of endurance changes how you use them. You stop thinking about charging as part of your routine. And when you do need power, fast charging helps you get back into playback quickly without long downtime. When you combine everything together, the Soundcore Q20i ends up in a very interesting position. It's not trying to compete with ultra-premium headphones in every category. It's not pretending to be something it's not. Instead, it focuses on delivering a balanced, complete experience at a very accessible price. Strong, bass-driven sound, solid ANC for the price, excellent battery life, and an app that actually adds meaningful control. They're not perfect, and they don't try to be, but they do something arguably more important. They deliver more than you expect for what you pay. And in the budget headphone space, that's usually the win that matters most.